Hi guys, it's Sophie. So I'm probably going to do the shortest wrap up that I've ever done on this channel, and probably that I ever will do on this channel. I have nothing to show you basically. I have these 5 books, but I'm going to chat about them. It's going to be really chill because this month has been really high stress, and we're just going to have a chatty video about these books, and screw it, I normally try and be really concise, but I don't have to be, I've only got 5 to talk about. So the first one I've shown you before is Black Dog by Levi Penfold. And this is a kid's book. When I'm not very well, I can't read, so that's why there's so few books, but I can do children's picture books. And this one is just so beautifully done. Like, it's basically a story about fear, and about how fear comes into families, and about facing fear. Foster's so loud, she gets hold of every receipt. But yeah, so it kind of goes through like each member of the family kind of addressing this fear and going through and kind of getting scarier and scarier until you have to face it. I thought it was quite a sweet idea for a children's book, and I really love the pictures. I think I said in the haul, they're just beautiful. Like, they're just really prettily done, and they're the kind of things you want to take out and stick on your wall. So yeah, I really like this one. I feel like I've talked about this already, but if I have, so what, we're just going to do it again. And then the next one I have is We Found a Hat by Jon Klassen, and I think this is in the Hat trilogy. It's about 2 turtles who both find a hat and both would quite like the hat. I really like his stuff, I find it really funny. I really like the drawing style as well, like how it's so simplistic, but there's something about the eyes of the characters that you can tell what they're thinking, and it's really funny. I think all of these are really sweet. It's one of those things where you feel silly for spending so much money on a kid's book, but I enjoy them enough that I really think these are worth it. Like, he's probably my favourite children's like illustrated big picture books that I've read so far, so yeah, I read that one. And then I have Outnumbered Days by Hilborn, and this is a poetry collection. Now, it's kind of about love and about all the shitty parts of love that no one ever really talks about, and it's also about just kind of like just straight up advice poems. I don't know. I'm going to read one to you so you get the kind of gist of what I mean. So this one is called Unsolicited Advice to Minnesota Children. Listen here, you little shits. You're growing up in one of the most beautiful places on earth. Everything here is all decked out in elk and the imperial majesty of winter, and you ingrate children of the snow spend all your time in classes learning about things that will teach you nothing about ice skating on the bones of your enemies, or lighting moose on fire, or felling fir trees in a beaver way, or how to make friends in a blizzard with a shovel. What I'm saying is, it's beautiful as a mushroom cloud out here. And by the time your grandchildren can enjoy it, it's all going to be a tepid ocean anyway, so whatever you do, put some of it inside your heads before it goes. It's all yours, you bastards. This is all yours. Like, it's just, I don't know, I really like the style of it, and just how straightforward it is. Like, yeah, like, I don't know, I'll try and find one that's more like of a love poem. Okay, so this one is called Future Tense. And when your 4th love leaves you, you'll want to kill yourself, but you won't. You'll no longer think of suicide as a house you'll build one day. Your 4th love, who was your first real love, brought you peace. When your whole body was a gun. When she leaves you, ask your roommate to hide the knives because you'll carve her name into all the food in your fridge. Stop showering. Warmth will remind you of her. Masturbate in public. Hope that someone catches you. You'll need to feel vulnerable in front of anyone else. Try to burn her clothes. Try to fall in love with strangers. Try to fall asleep without her. Open the windows when she would have wanted them closed. Turn off the radio. She can't sleep without the noise, and you can't sleep without noise. But noise sounds like her whispering you into the world of lights and breakfast. Make the rain sound like nothing. Make the rain sound like nothing like her voice. Don't be alone. When you're alone, you won't do anything you did with her, so you won't do anything. Marvel at how she, the patient gardener, the bringer of sleep, she who draws the bath and lights the candles, she who made you into someone who could make himself into someone, she who made you want to live more than anything else, now makes you want to leave the world, because you've seen it. In her, you've seen the colour and the shape of your perfect life. And now the children, the house, the arguments about the tablecloths are all fading like things left in the sunlight, like any dream left too long in the light. And for months and years, every time you do see her, you'll want to kiss her. And when you do, you'll expect pain to come like the old dog you could never bring yourself to put down, but there will be none. You'll remind yourself, and she'll remind you, and you remind each other that this is for the best. That you're physically incapable of loving one another. And in those moments you'll be lying, your heart is screaming, I can, but you stay silent because of her. because she asked for this, because she filled something in you that's now full, even when she's gone. So they're just, like, I find them really striking. I really like honest love stories, honest love poems, and honest romance, so picture perfect stuff really pisses me off. So yeah, that was one that I did like. If you like the sound of either one of those two poems, I think you'll probably really like the whole collection. And then I found this one, Sweet Home by Carys Bray, for like £2, I think. Yeah, like £2 in a charity like shop, and like a charity bookshop place, book barn thing. And I thought I'd give it a shot because I know so many people have loved it, but I just didn't love it. It's not that I didn't like any element of it, but they aren't for me. They felt a little bit too safe for me. Whilst some of them are still weird, like there's a woman who goes and chooses her baby from a supermarket and has to choose which model she wants, and like they're strange stories, but I felt they felt really safe. I don't know, maybe I should have left more time between them, but I kind of felt like the whole collection just felt a little bit stale to me. And I didn't have enough of the bite that I want there. I always want something really dark, I think, to make me love a short story collection, and it wasn't dark enough for me. There was elements of it, but I wanted it taken further. Yeah, so I know lots of people love her, but I don't think I'm going to be one of her fans, unfortunately. And then the last one I have that I read this month was The Pale King by David Foster Wallace. And I read this one when I was in hospital. My brother bought it for me because he knows how much David Foster Wallace means to me, and this is the one that I read. I mean, it's fairly thick, but I read this for the majority of the month. I took my time with it and I loved it. I really did, and I was really engaged with it. I found it much more accessible than I did Infinite Jest, but I thought actually the story was probably stronger. That said, it does feel unfinished, and I think it's very obvious he wasn't done and he wasn't there when he did die, when he killed himself. But I think it's worth reading anyway. He has such incredible ideas, and I was reading this and underlining stuff through a lot of it, I don't know, it just kind of jumps out at you. Like there's this whole part where, let's tell you what the book's about even vaguely before I start rambling too much. It's kind of about the IRS, and it's kind of about taxation and about the moral implications of taxation, and he's exploring further the idea that sometimes the most important things are the most dull, and sometimes the things that we want to imagine are vital aren't, they're just dramatic, and that we are exchanging ourselves and our knowledge for something that feels more accessible. Which is funny considering I said I felt this one was more accessible, but it's the idea that just because something is simpler doesn't make it better. Just because television's easier to watch than to read doesn't mean that you're going to absorb more information. Like he's very much about questioning the ways in which you do things, and when you feel comfortable. He doesn't like you feeling comfortable, I think, as an author. And there's like one quote, I could just give you an example. So there's a professor, the character stumbles into a lecture on taxation, and he's been a really rubbish student so far. He hasn't really wanted to engage, but he finds himself in the wrong classroom. He goes across a mirror image from where he thought he was going. So there's like imagine if the book is two sides of the university, he should be here and he goes here. And it's kind of maze-like, and he ends up in this lecture, and this man is talking about really complicated principles of finance, and the guy's kind of lost, but he starts talking about morality instead. So he says, "Gentlemen, here is a truth. Enduring tedium over real time in a confined space is what real courage is. Such endurance is, as it happens, the distillate of what today, in this world, neither I nor you have made heroism." Heroism. He made a point of looking around, gauging people's reaction. Nobody laughed. A few looked puzzled. I remember I was starting to have to go to the bathroom. In the classroom's fluorescent lights, he cast no shadow on either side. "By which," he said, "I mean true heroism. Not heroism as you might know it from films or tales of childhood. You are now nearly at childhood's end. You're ready for the truth's weight to bear it. The truth is that the heroism of your childhood entertainments are not true valour, it's theatre. A grand gesture, a moment of choice, a mortal danger, an external foe. The climactic battle whose outcome resolves all is designed to appear heroic, to excite and gratify an audience. An audience. He made a gesture that I cannot describe. Gentlemen, welcome to the world of reality. There is no audience. There is no one to applaud, to admire. No one sees you. Do you understand me? Here is the truth. Actual heroism receives no ovation, entertains no one. No one would queue up to see it because no one is interested. I love David Foster Wallace and his writing and his way of thinking about things. And like, I have goosebumps, like just from reading that. It means an awful lot to me. All his work that I've read so far has meant an awful lot to me. And reading this where I was, I think has made this one of those books that's going to stick with me for a long time. If you are turned off by Infinite Jest because of its weight and because of its kind of reputation, maybe try The Pale King, because I did really like it. I haven't read his earlier stuff, so I can't comment on that, but just have a shot at it. I don't think it's going to be as hard as you think it is. This one certainly isn't. So as I say, that was probably a pretty short video. I don't know if you say that, I've rambled a lot. But that's it, that's all I've read this month. I want to say sorry, but I also feel like I shouldn't be apologising for not reading enough. I'm trying to be good, trying to do all my therapy stuff. So yeah, I'm not sorry, that's just the reality of what this month has been like. I want to read more next month. I'm planning on reading more next month. The next video you'll see will be my TBR for next month, where I've pulled some stuff together and said a little bit about how I'm doing and how I'm going to try and push myself forward. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed hearing me chat and having this really chilled out, lo-fi kind of wrap up. Let me know how your month has gone. Let me know how you are, like how are you guys feeling, how are you holding up. Yeah, I mean, you're always so lovely in the comments and you're always so supportive, and it means a lot to me, and I always just want to know that you're all well as well. And yeah, I'm sure I'll chat to you guys soon in the comments, or see you on Twitter or Instagram or any of those places, but look after yourselves until then. Alright, bye bye.